What is one of the first casualties of perimenopause? It is a disconnect with your spouse. And if you do not identify the problem and work on it, the disconnect can turn into a lasting rift that will become very hard to bridge. Now, if you're feeling that growing distance and you are in perimenopause, you're not alone. I remember feeling the same disconnect and wondering if my relationship would ever feel the same. But through trial and error, I was able to find strategies that made a huge difference. At the same time, I was working with my doctor to help balance my hormones, which were completely out of whack. Now, let me share what worked for me in surviving the perimenopause and keeping my relationship intact and thriving. I also have something to say to your spouses at the end, so please do not skip that. So when things starts to shift in a relationship, especially in the early phases of perimenopause, it is so easy to chalk them up to not having time or being too stressed, work stress, kids stress, aging parent stress. And what happened is that you fail to realize that this is more than just a stress problem or more than just we don't have time problem. This is internal and happens very gradually. So if you don't catch this change in time, the damage becomes bigger and bigger and becomes harder to mend. So it's important to, see those subtle signs that starts happening very early on. Like your person that you love will be sitting right next to you, probably watching TV, but you will feel no connection. Emotionally, you'll be oceans apart. There will be this void, and every relationship goes through ups and downs, and you have experienced it. But usually, things get bad, but then they go back to their normal baseline. But this time, you'll feel like this void, this feeling of dread. It's just not going. It's there. It's like a dark cloud on you, just following you everywhere. You used to talk about things that interest you both, like you would talk about sports, shows, food, people, relatives. Now, you will notice that the conversation will be strictly logistical and it revolve around the kids. The ease and calm you, the ease and calm you felt around him is gone. You both will be walking on eggshells. You will know something is wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. And there will be a cycle of like you snapping, you crying, shutting down, and then spiraling with guilt. So these are some signs, but let me say this loud and clear. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not crazy, you're not broken, and you are not being too sensitive. Here's what you are never told. These changes that you're feeling, they're not emotional weaknesses. They're physiological. Can you please say that with me? Say it out loud. These changes are physiological. Your body is going through a chemical upheaval. All your hormones, estrogen, progesterone, serotonin, even oxytocin, your bonding hormones, they're all shifting dramatically. And these hormones don't just affect your period, they affect your mood, your memory, your desire, your capacity to connect. So you are reacting to a storm inside your body. And yet in that chaos, you still want to hold on to your relationship. So now the question is, how do you rebuild connection when you barely recognize yourself. So here are some tips. Number 1, start with honesty. Tell him what's happening, even if you don't understand it. He's not a mind reader. He has never walked this path, but he can walk it with you if you let him. You don't need to explain all the signs. You can just say something like, something's changing in me. I don't feel like myself, and I need you to be patient with me. Now, the words are too hard. Write him. Write him a letter or leave him a voice memo. The point is, just don't stay silent. Don't suffer in silence. Number 2, don't give up on sharing the same space. So what happens is you're not sleeping anymore. That's one of the early signs of perimenopause for some women. Tossing, turning, and trying not to mess up his sleep, you decide to leave your bedroom. You settle somewhere. Your routine is now you just scroll through your social media and just fall asleep at some point. Now, your intention was never to move out forever. You just want to, do it until you fix your sleep. But days turns into week turns into month, and now you have completely separate sleeping arrangements, which is not good for your relationship. Please avoid this. Physical touch is so important. So make sure you hold hands. Even if you cringe at the concept of doing it, hold hands. Hug him. Make it a challenge. Set a timer on your phone for 10-20 seconds, put it on the counter, and hug him. You cannot let go before the timer is up. I'm telling you, initially you'll feel so repulsive. But you just say, I need to do it like 5 days in a row, and you'll see the difference. He would probably want to squeal away because, let's be honest, you've been a bit of a nightmare. But ask him to stay. Feel his heartbeat. And remind yourself that he is not the enemy. He's still your person. Number 3, create small rituals that reconnect you. A small walk after dinner, a quiet tea before bedtime, a playlist you listen to while you're doing chores around the house, folding laundry, washing dishes, cooking. Looking at old photos is my favorite. And this one is powerful. Pray together. Praying builds emotional safety and connection in a way nothing else can. Number 4, do not sit in shame. Things will come out of your mouth that you yourself will not believe. This will happen. You will surprise yourselves like, did I just say that? So when you snap, because you will, don't stay in shame. Immediately acknowledge that this is happening and talk about it. Because as soon as you shine a spotlight on a shame, it disintegrates. That's how it works. So whenever such episodes happen, apologize right away. Say, I'm sorry. This was not about you. I just need a moment. And if you're too overwhelmed to talk about it in a moment, you can say, I'm pinning this conversation for later. Step away, breathe, come back when your nerve system has settled. And this is not avoidance. This is maturity. This is love in action. So these are the 4 things that I think would help any relationship, especially for people who are going through perimenopause and their spouses. Now, if I had a time machine, I would go back and say this to my husband. But I cannot do that, so I will speak to your husband on your behalf. So to the husbands, partners, I do not believe for 1 second that you're trying to hurt me or that you've stopped caring. I believe you're just confused because the woman you've known, the one you have built a life with, is acting like a lunatic. are acting like a different version of herself. The truth is, I'm confused too. So first, I ask for your forgiveness for the harsh words, the distance, the silence, the tears that made no sense. And second, I ask for your compassion, not your judgment, not your frustrations, but your compassion. Just like you showed up for me during my pregnancies, miscarriages, fertility struggles. Those weren't easy, but they were visible. And because they were visible, you knew how to support me. But this is invisible. And that's exactly why I need you more than ever. I need your gentleness. I need your patience. I need you to believe me, even when I don't have the words to express myself. I need you to understand that this is not a rejection of you. This is a reconfiguration of me. And I believe with every ounce of my being that we can walk through this together and come out on the other side stronger. I love you and I cannot think a life without you. Ooh, my Lord. Coming back to my ladies, please remember, you're not too much, you're not going crazy, and you're absolutely unconditionally worth loving, especially now. So if this spoke to you, or you know somebody who's quietly hurting, please send this their way so they know that they are being seen and heard. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.